great. Ready to go. Obviously, you said Max is kind of tearing through everybody right now, and that's a little daunting at times when you think about it, but that's motivating, and that's what I want. I want to fight the very best, and that's Max right now.
How does your style sort of lend itself to being the guy that stops that train?
You know, I really don't think Max has fought anybody quite like myself in a very, very long time. The guys he's fought kind of are more strikers, more guys that are stands right with him, and I think I mix it up a little better.
What are your thoughts of the city of Edmonton?
So far, literally got in late last night, went for a little run. It's beautiful. It gets dark really, really late, which is cool. Kind of like that. I'm a little bit of a night guy. So, yeah, man, I'm enjoying it. The weather's great. Canadians are the nicest people I ever met, so it's cool by me.
And what about the venue itself, Rogers Place? Probably your first time.
Yeah, it's my first time in here. It still smells new, so I'm excited to get out here and, put a show on for these fans. I know the Canadian market obviously is really into MMA. I used to train alongside George, and I'm a big fan of George, so, I'm excited to get it done. I've been some pretty good fights here in Canada, so now I get to finally, participate more.
This is the third try at this thing. Like, what's that like when you sort of, you rise up and it stops, you get a hype in a
Yeah, it's tough, I believe both times me and Max were supposed to fight, I got hurt maybe 4 weeks out, then he got hurt 3 weeks out, so, I've been prepared. I prepare for this guy for quite a bit. It's like getting all dressed up and not going to the prom, you know what I mean? So here we are, we're finally going to get to do this dance.
Does that help in terms of you've studied this guy a lot in the last...
Yeah, I'm not a huge... I watch him fight every time he fights, obviously, but I'm not a big tape guy. I leave that to my coaches. I kind of worry about myself. My coaches, we go over the techniques that they see in training, and we apply them to what we got to do.
Yeah. You got the fight in part because of you stepped up when the UFC needed it? Is that kind of...
I think it's part of it. I think it's part based on, what I've done in my career. I really never say no to the UFC, and we were supposed to fight. He got hurt, and instead of saying, hey, I'm going to wait for Max and, maybe put a whole card on jeopardy, I jumped in and fought the next guy. And, it didn't maybe work out the best for me, but I'll do that every time. That's just who I am.
Just like the fight.
Yeah, man, this is what, I'm not training for nothing. I'm not training just to wait. I want to train to fight.
Frank, you're a former lightweight champion. What's your mental approach when you're fighting at featherweight? How does your game or anything change at fighting 10 pounds less than?
Nothing really. Honestly, I cut zero weight at 155, and I've really cut minimal weight here. I'm probably 10 pounds over right now. So nothing's changed really from 55 to 45. These guys just keep getting bigger and bigger, but I stay the same.
Can you look ahead to after this fight, or is that you're just focusing on this right now?
Yeah, I could look ahead, but, obviously my sole focus is on Max. That's a tall enough mountain to climb, so you don't want to get too far ahead.
How is that cut? Like it seems like it'd be, for a normal human being, it'd be a pretty daunting task. You guys sort of moving around.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I said, I don't really cut much. By the time fight week, I'll come 8 to 7 pounds over, and I'll lose that very easily. Other guys, they cut quite a bit, and it's not so easy. So luckily, I don't have to worry about that, and I can feel pretty good the week of, and make sure fight night I'm good to go.
When you're fighting Max, and he hasn't lost in featherweight in almost 5 years, what does that maybe tell you in terms of his preparation, his mental game, his game overall, and how does that maybe alter your approach, if at all?
Every time Max fights, every time I watch him fights, he seems like he gets better. He's still fairly young, so I'm sure this next time we see him, he's going to even be better. So that's just motivating for me. I know I can't be the same guy when I go in there. I got to make sure I'm getting better. And I think, based on what I've done in my career, I've been doing that. I've been at the top pretty much since I got in the UFC, always vying for a title. And I think because I have the same approach as Max, we're constantly trying to, improve every day.
A lot of fights, the guys hate each other. There's this bad blood. I'm not really sensing that here. There's kind of a mutual respect thing.
Yeah, I never have a bad blood with anybody. I don't know these guys really that well. You know what I mean? And but with Max, it's I respect him a great deal. Inside and outside, and he's not a bad guy. I don't think he's really saying bad things about me. So we're good. We can keep mutual. I know he wants to win really bad, and I want to win really bad. And blood bad, no bad blood. We're both gonna leave it in there.
How do you stay this good at 37?
I think just because I'm never satisfied. I won the UFC title 9 years ago, held it for 2 years, and I could have maybe rest on my laurels and just sailed off in the sunset, but I'm not satisfied. I still want more. So I think the fact that I'm going to be the number one guy every day is just kind of kept me on my toes.
Is there anything you're doing different now, perhaps that you were doing back when you had that title reign 9 years ago, just to stay in shape, to keep yourself physically ready to go?
I'm just training the same way I've always been. I've probably cut out some stuff that I don't need and added some stuff that I do need. You only get better in this game with experience, and the only way you can get experience is through time. So through this time, I've definitely, cut out the fat and added some good stuff.
One of the first things Max said today was, he looked up to you. He views you as a legend. Do you remember your first moment where you're like, you know what, I'm fighting somebody that I looked up to, and maybe take us through that?
I mean, yeah, my first title fight, I fought BJ Penn, who, I looked up to greatly. He was a dominant guy. He was running through everybody, licking their blood off his gloves, and yeah. So that was my moment for me. Yeah.